Well, Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously thrash the team of Sporting Lisbon that have just lost their manager known as Ruben Amorim to Manchester United by 5-1 away there, and it was really a very exciting game. Arsenal dominated everything, and if you remember my match reaction to the game of Chelsea and the game of Nottingham Forest, the previous two games that Arsenal have gone ahead to play, I came out and told you that Arsenal is really on the groove. And if you remember how Arsenal went ahead to obviously hit the ground running in January last year after they came from Dubai, they've gone ahead to obviously hit the ground run this time round in November, right? And that really sends a very huge message that they might not really they might not put the foot off the pedal. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. It has been a minute since I've been here, but obviously I'm back to obviously shower with you the latest information about this result of Arsenal. As Man City have drawn 3-3, oh my god. So City have now gone I think 6 games winless. That is really very bad. And when you look at how Arsenal is really obviously strategizing and obviously putting the foot on the pedal and they're not really holding the handbrake, that shows you how they've gone ahead to obviously give a push to the side of City. Right? So they're like, they push to the side of Liverpool, because you all know to it that Liverpool is leading by some I think 9 points ahead of Arsenal, and they're really doing the due diligence to put in the due shift. Now, this game of football came into action. I'm sorry I never came up with a match preview, but I'm coming up with a match reaction. Now, Arsenal came up with the master plan of obviously getting the early goal. And guess what? That's how it really went ahead to happen. Arsenal came up and obviously got the early goal through Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli in the 7th minute had already gone ahead, obviously put Arsenal ahead. And for those that know what it means, obviously go ahead, you can really witness it in very many different games, because there is nothing as the most important thing is scoring fast, especially when you're playing away from home. Because when you look at the side of Arsenal and Sporting Lisbon has history of really coming from behind. The last time they really played a Premier League team was City, and they beat it by 4-1. But City, through Phil Foden, scored I think in like 3 minutes, and Arsenal was like, let's obviously get up ahead of them in 7 minutes. And because Arsenal knew to it that this team had gone ahead, obviously come up and obviously pull 4 back. You get pull 1 back, levered, and then scored 3 past the side of Man City. What went ahead to happen is that Arsenal were like, it's not yet done. 15 minutes later, Kai Havertz went ahead to obviously put in a very beautiful goal, and it was an assist coming in through, I think, from Bukayo Saka. That of Gabriel Martinelli, it was a very good teasing ball or inviting ball that was really put into the 6 yards area of Sporting Lisbon, and it crossed the line through Martinelli. Then Gabriel Magalhaes, Arsenal had really taken some time without scoring a set piece. Gabriel Magalhaes comes in through, scores a set piece, and the assist went to Declan Rice. And by end of the first 45 minutes, Arsenal were 3 goals ahead of the guys of Sporting Lisbon, and they went to halftime when it was 3-0. Returning 2 minutes in, it's Goncalo Inacio goes ahead, obviously score a very beautiful ball brought in by I've forgotten his name, and after putting in that that corner, Goncalo Inacio went ahead to place it into the left bottom corner, and obviously it was really a very good technique that he used to obviously put that ball in the back of the net, and then it was 3-1. But 18 minutes later, Odegaard was brought down into the 18 yards box area, and guess what happened? It was a penalty. Saka stepped up and scored the penalty, and then Leandro Trossard came up and obviously capitalized onto that shot that Mikel Merino directed to the goalkeeper, and it bounced off him, and Trossard did nothing else other than putting that ball into the back of the net. But one thing I liked about Mikel Arteta were his tactics that he used this time around in this game. If you watch that game of football and the first 3 goals that Arsenal really scored, the 4th and the 5th, there is something that Arsenal came up to really explore. And what was that? Arsenal was exploring the right half space. When I talk about the right half space, it's that space between the center of the pitch and the touchline. You know, when you look at the first goal, it was orchestrated from that side. You know, it is Odegaard finds Saka, and Saka puts that ball to find. Odegaard finds Declan Rice, and Declan Rice puts that ball into that right half space. You know, and guess who comes in through? It's Julian Timber, and he obviously puts in that cross. You know. Secondly, look at the second one that was created by Saka. Partey looks into that right half space again and finds Bukayo Saka. Saka goes in and obviously does the needful to obviously give that ball to Kai Havertz. And Kai Havertz went ahead to obviously make it 2. You know, one of the easiest jobs to be done in the game of football. Then, thirdly, it was a set piece, obviously. But the fourth one, look where Odegaard manipulates to obviously get a penalty or to be brought down. Odegaard went ahead to obviously manipulate that space, you know. And when he manipulated that space, obviously it was on the right. He was brought down and it was 4-1. Look at how where Mikel Merino shoots from, obviously in that right area. So Arteta went ahead and did his homework very well and got to know that if I want to obviously cause a threat to the side of Sporting Lisbon, all I have to do is I have to obviously attack that space, and that's how that system can really get beaten. Every time you have three central defenders, you know, that means the wing back, for example, when I'm talking about the left, let me even bring you that lineup and really explain to you exactly what I'm trying to mean, because most of you might not be understanding what I'm talking about. Now, when I talk about the right half space, this is what I mean. You know, this is the space I'm talking about. You see, this space in here. You get? Now, all of Arsenal's goals have happened in this space. If at all you've watched very well, you know, where they've gone ahead to come in through. You know, the build-up was so much into this area and the activity occurred into this area. Now, when you look at Goncalo Inacio and Arojo, what Arsenal did was to obviously make sure that Inacio pulls here and he creates space in here. For the first goal, Julian Timber was here. Second goal, Saka was released by Partey in here. Third goal, set piece. When you look at the fourth goal, you know, let's pretend that this is the goal area of Sporting Lisbon. Who was marauding here? He was marauding into this space. Look, I'm talking about Martin Odegaard, and he was forward here. You get? Mikel Merino gets his shot in here, and it bounces off the goalkeeper into the vicinity of Trossard into the back of the net. So this is something that Ruben Amorim has to obviously think of as Man United. You get? As Man United looks to play the side of which team are we playing? The side of Arsenal, right? You know Manchester United is playing Arsenal next Wednesday. You know that very well. So as Ruben Amorim goes ahead to obviously prepare to play against Manchester United, so to play against Arsenal at the Emirates, he should get to know that Arsenal have gone ahead and obviously got his system and beat it by 5-1 away at Sporting Lisbon. And this time around, Arsenal is really going to be playing at home. And I tell you, I'm worried as a United fan. By the way, I'm not worried because of them beating Sport Lisbon, but I'm worried on how we played against Ipswich and how that system isn't yet into full pelt, because we are playing Bodo Glimt and Everton. And can we use those two games obviously see to it that the manager finds himself in the proper position of really putting in a very good shift into that beautiful game of football, you know, because in that back three, you need fast defenders, you get? And when you look at how Arsenal exploited that side, it was really very deadly. And we don't know what side they will choose to exploit when they're really playing us. Against Sporting Lisbon, they might have gone to exploit the right side. And against Manchester United, they might obviously say, let's obviously exploit the left side. And don't forget that Arsenal can also exploit it through the middle. You understand? So that's the tactic that the guy came up with. But good to see Saka getting into the score sheet today, because even during the week, you understand, on the weekend, Saka was one of those that came up and obviously registered a goal and an assist. And today, he has also gone ahead to register a goal and an assist. It shows you how good he's really becoming. And I've already told you the hidden secret about Saka. It's all about winning a Ballon d'Or this time. If you can lift Arsenal and if can take Arsenal to win the Champions League and the Premier League, I think he can really put in a very big shift. Now, he has 2 goals into the UEFA Champions League and 1 assist. Kai Havertz has yet gone ahead obviously get himself another goal. Gabriel Martinelli has scored himself the first goal of the Champions League season, taking his tally to 4 this season. And the tally of Saka is having 6 goals, right? So in the Premier League and the Champions League. Also, I think EFL Cup hasn't gone ahead to score. So 6 goals, but he's having 9 assists so far into this beautiful competition. Kai Havertz, I think, has gotten himself his second Champions League goal. I remember his first came up when they're really playing against PSG. That is Kai Havertz for you. 5 games, 2 goals, and I think that's not bad for a player. So far, 6 goals in the league, and he has 2 in the FL Cup, meaning that he has 8 goals this season so far. And I know he's really going to be flamboyant, and obviously he's really going to be putting in the best of the best into the mix for the side of Arsenal. So that's how Arsenal went ahead of the cruise past Sporting Lisbon. But for Sporting Lisbon, I think people will come up and say it's because they've gone ahead to lose their money. It's not about the manager. If you've watched that game, they really beat Man City 4-1. I come out and I say this authoritatively, it was not a Man City day. Because if they asked you what was the better side on the pitch, it was City. Who scored more goals? It was Sporting Lisbon. Who missed a penalty when it was 3-1? And if at all they scored that goal, it would have gone ahead to go to 3-2. It was Erling Haaland. So everything was really very, very, very bad for the side of for the side of City. You know, like they've gone ahead to obviously lead by 3 goals, and they've gone ahead to obviously put in a very beautiful shift in there for you. So all I can tell you is it's not always easy to obviously get chance twice. You know, they were really very clinical and they went ahead and obviously trounced City there. But when they've gone ahead to obviously face Arsenal, they've gone ahead to obviously find themselves in a position of really getting annihilated. And one will say the effect of the manager is not because they went ahead and beat Braga, I think, by 6-0. If you watched their game over the weekend, and they came in very geared up. So it shows you that the style of play is the same, but the tactician has come in through with better tactics. That is Mikel Arteta. And I just liked the way he went ahead, obviously beat this side, hands down. I like it when a manager comes out and obviously identifies one opening and utilizes through the entire game. One will say if at all Ruben Amorim was here, he would have gone ahead, obviously come up and obviously reacted immediately. And I'm like, let's wait and see how Ruben Amorim will react when he's playing against Arsenal next Wednesday. Because as it stands, there is nothing easy. There is nothing easy like playing Arsenal in there for you. And for Ruben Amorim, looks like he's not willing to obviously change a system. He'll only change players. Even if things are really going bad, he's like, we are going to keep playing the same system and they're not going to be doing the needful. So I tell you, the biggest test of Ruben Amorim is coming on the 5th of December. You get? So that is it. So that's what we've gone ahead to have for you in here for you. And let's obviously get into the match stats and how everything we went ahead, obviously pan down at the stadium called Estadio Jose Alvalade. It's called Alvalade. It's called Jose Alvalade. That's the stadium where they went ahead, obviously, tussle it out with themselves. And even Trossard, by the way, he really looked good. Partey player ratings, you're really going to get to know what exactly I think about this guy. Now, Sporting Lisbon had 19 shots. Arsenal had 13. 8 shots on target by Sporting Lisbon. 9 shots on target by Arsenal. 53% ball possession by Sporting Lisbon. 47% ball possession by Arsenal. 497 passes completed by Sporting Lisbon. And Arsenal completed 459. 89% passing accuracy by Sporting Lisbon. Arsenal had a passing accuracy of 87%. 6 fouls by Sporting Lisbon and 8 fouls by Arsenal. 1 yellow card to each sides. I think it went to Diomande for the side of Sporting Lisbon. 0 red cards to both sides. 1 offside to Arsenal. 0 offside to Sporting Lisbon, and 8 corners to Sporting Lisbon and 3 corners to the side of Arsenal. That's what you're really getting in through from the side of the stats as they stand now. So let's go a little bit into the Champions League table and how it's really looking here. Inter Milan is on top with 13 points, 5 games played. Barcelona is second, 12 points with 5 games played. Liverpool are playing, I think, Real Madrid. That is tomorrow. 4 games, 12 points, meaning that they're going to have to get maximum points. And I think it's the only side that can obviously have maximum points, or that is going to obviously have maximum points. Then Atalanta has won today by 4-1. They're having 11 in 5. Leverkusen, they're having 10 in 5. Monaco, they're having 10 in 4 games. Arsenal, 5 games, they're really having 10 and they're closing in. Sporting Lisbon, 5 games, they're really having 10 points. Brest, 5 games, 10 points. So Arsenal is in the bracket of those that can obviously go to the quarterfinals if at all goes on as planned. But we are waiting to see how other teams are really going to be performing, because if the following teams win, Aston Villa, if they win, they'll go to 12. They obviously go ahead of Arsenal. Dortmund, if they win, they'll go ahead of Arsenal. I think on Monaco, there are 1, 2, 3 teams that can go ahead of Arsenal, and you never know how that will happen. But for City, they've gone ahead to obviously find themselves really losing points, right? They've gone ahead to obviously lose points again, and they've drawn by 3-3. And guess what? It was Erling Haaland in the 44th minute with a penalty. Ilkay Gundogan doubled the lead in the 50th minute. Then Erling Haaland completed his brace in the 53rd minute. Guess what? 25 minutes later, that was in the 75th minute, Moussa comes up and obviously scores a goal in the 75th minute. Santiago Jimenez, 83rd minute, and David Henkel came up and obviously scored in the 89th minute. And City couldn't find themselves really registering a win. And it's now how many games? It's now 6 games consecutively without winning. The best they've gone ahead to do to register a draw, because the last 5 they've gone ahead to lose. They lost to Spurs in the Carabao Cup. They lost to Brighton. They lost to Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. They lost to Bournemouth in the Premier League. When they returned from the international break, they've lost to Spurs, and those are 5 losses. And this time around, they've gone ahead, obviously, find themselves losing out onto a win, and they've gone ahead to drop 2 points at Etihad. Guys, it's not all rosy for Pep Guardiola, and I tell you, it's not gonna really be easy for Pep Guardiola in any moment. So as it stands, I tell you, the side of Pep Guardiola is obviously trying to cruise through, but I don't think it will obviously come up with the best answer to what it's supposed to be. So Arsenal has gone ahead to cruise past the side of Sporting Lisbon, and you can as well come up and obviously tell me what your thoughts are. But for me, all the kudos to the manager, because he got the tactics right. And by the way, today I've gotten to know that Mikel Arteta can really be drifting. But my problem with Arteta is if at all that game plan failed, would he obviously maneuver out another game plan? That has always been my question about Mikel Arteta, because he comes up with a proper plan, and when that proper plan really fails, I tell you what, he looks like he's lost in his own way. That's my problem with him. But congratulations to Arsenal. Captain Fantastic Odegaard is riding the side to where he wants it to be, and they're really having the best of the best in everything they're really doing. So guys, I sign out for now. See you later. And I'm going to be bringing up other games of the Champions League and how they went ahead to obviously end into this match day 5 of the Champions League. Bye-bye.